good time for bankers and winners and sailors, with their stories of jackpots and islands of pleasure. They keep their treasures locked in Iron Mountain, locked in Iron Mountain. They're sailing through this transitory life. They're moving through this transitory life. Takes a long time for a mouse to realize he's in a trap, but once he does, something inside him never stops trembling. Grandma in the pancake makeup she never wore in life lies there in her shiny black coffin, looks just like a piano. She made herself a bed inside my ear. She made herself a bed inside my ear. Every night I hear we're sailing through this transitory life. We're moving through this transitory The doctor says, congratulations, it's a boy. Where do all the dream baby girls, those possible pearls, go? Lorraine and Susan with the brown eyes, the lovely Irene, and difficult but beautiful Betty, and tiny, tiny Juanita. We're sailing through this transitory life. Moving through this transitory life. Afraid to breathe, afraid to rise, we run and run in this transitory life. Tipped off balance, we fall like light, we land on water in this transitory life. Oh, we fall like light on water. The water turns to ice. Everything keeps changing in this transitory life. Everything keeps changing. This transitory life.
Oh, oh. And they were all made of wood. Well, they were wooden trees, and they were made entirely of wood. I came home today, and you were all on fire. Your shirt was on fire, and your hair was on fire, and flames were licking all around your feet. And I did not know what to do. And then 1,000 violins began to play. And I really did not know what to do then. So I just decided to go out and, walk the dog. I went to the movies, and I saw a dog 30 feet high. And this dog was made entirely of light. And he filled up the whole screen. And his eyes were long hallways. He had those long, echoing hallway eyes. On the radio, and I heard a song by Dolly Parton, and she was singing, wow, I feel so bad, I feel so sad. I left my mom and I left my dad, and I just want to go home now. I just want to go back to my Tennessee mountain home now. Well, you know she's not going to go back home. And I know she's not going to go back home. And she knows she's never going to go back there. I just want to know who's gonna go and walk her dog. Her dog. Well, I feel so bad. I feel so sad. But not as bad as the night I wrote this song. Close your eyes. Okay. Now imagine you're at the most wonderful party. Okay. Delicious food, interesting people. Uh-huh. Terrific music. Uh-huh. Now open them!
Now, only an expert can deal with the problem, because half the problem is seeing the problem. And only an expert can deal with the problem. Only an expert can deal with the problem. So if there's no expert dealing with the problem, it's really actually twice the problem. Because only an expert can deal with the problem. Only an expert can deal with the problem. In America, we like solutions. We like solutions to problems. And there's so many companies that offer solutions. Companies with names like the pet solution, the hair solution, the debt solution, the world solution, the sushi solution. Companies with experts ready to solve these problems. Because only an expert can see there's a problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem. Only an expert can deal with the problem. Let's say you're invited to be on Oprah, and you don't have a problem. But you want to go on the show, and so you need a problem. And so you invent a problem. But if you're not an expert in problems, you're probably not going to make up a very plausible problem. And so you're probably going to get nailed. You're going to get exposed. And you're going to have to bow down and apologize and beg for the public's forgiveness. Because only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem. And on these shows, the shows that try to solve your problems, the big question is always, how can I get control? How can I take control? But don't forget, this is a question for the regular viewer. The person who's barely getting by. The person who's watching shows about people with problems. The person who's one of the 60% of the US population. 1.3 weeks away. 1.3 paychecks away from a shelter. In other words, a person with problems. So when experts say, let's get to the root of the problem, let's take control of the problem, because if you take control of the problem, you can solve the problem. Often this doesn't work at all because the situation is completely out of control. Because only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem. Now, sometimes experts lend you money, and sometimes they lend you lots of money. And sometimes when the subprime mortgages collapse, and banks close and businesses fail, and the crisis spreads around the world, sometimes other experts say, just because all the markets crashed doesn't mean it's necessarily a bad thing. And other experts say, just because all your friends are fired and your family's broke and we didn't see it coming doesn't mean that we were wrong. And just because you lost your job and your house and all your savings doesn't mean that you don't have to pay for the bailouts, for the traders and the bankers and the speculators. Because only an expert can design a bailout, and only an expert can expect a bailout. Because only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem. really, 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 really hot. And it's July and January. And there's no more snow. And huge waves are wiping out cities. And hurricanes are everywhere. And everyone knows it's a problem. But if some of the experts say it's no problem, and if other experts claim it's no problem, or explain why it's no problem, then it's simply not a problem. But when an expert says it's a problem, and makes a movie about the problem, and wins an Oscar about the problem, and gets the Nobel Prize about the problem, then all the other experts have to agree it is most likely a problem. 'Cause only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem. Can invade another country and flatten it and ruin it and create havoc and civil war in that other country. If the experts say it's not a problem, and everyone agrees they're experts and good at seeing problems, then invading those countries is simply not a problem. And if a country tortures people and holds citizens without cause or trial and sets up military tribunals, this is also not a problem. Unless there's an expert who says, this is the beginning of a problem. 'Cause only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem. 'Cause only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem, and only an expert can deal with the problem. 'Cause only an expert can see there's a problem, and seeing the problem is half the problem. 'Cause only an expert can deal with the problem, only an expert can deal with the problem. Hansel and Gretel are alive and well, and they're living in Berlin. She is a cocktail waitress. He had a part in a Fassbinder film, and they sit around at night now, drinking schnapps and gin, and she says, Hansel, you're really bringing me down. And he says, Gretel, you can really be a bitch. He says, I've wasted my life on our stupid legend, when my one and only love was the wicked witch. She said, what is his story? And he said, his story is an angel being blown backwards into the future. He said his story is a pile of debris, and the angel wants to go back and fix things, to repair the things that have been broken. But there is a storm blowing from paradise, and the storm keeps blowing the angel backwards into the future. And this storm is called progress.
In our country, you're free, and so you're born, and so they say, you're free. So happy birthday. And even if you were born to lose, even if you were a complete wreck when you were born, you might still grow up to be president, because you're free.
Today you might be an average citizen, a civilian, a pedestrian, but tomorrow you might be elected to some unexpected office or sell your novel and suddenly become famous. Or you could get run over by a truck, and your picture could get into the papers that way. Because you're free, and anything might happen, so happy birthday.
Gee, all those lights and all those screens. The New York experience is mind-boggling. I don't think I've ever seen that many screens before, and I'll probably come again. It was really amazing, mind-boggling.
You're walking, and you don't always realize it, but you're always falling at the same time. With each step, you fall forward. Over and over, you're falling, then catching yourself falling. And this is how you can be walking and falling at the same time.
Look, over there, it's a real dog, and it's really talking.
I wanted you, and I was looking for you, but I couldn't find you. I wanted you, and I was looking for you all day, but I couldn't find you. I couldn't find you.
Well, I paid my money, and I've got this funny feeling that somehow, it's not what I paid my money for. I mean, I paid my money, and I just don't think this is what I paid my money. What I paid my money for.
No one has ever looked at me like this before. No one has ever stared at me for so long like this. This is the first time anyone has ever looked at me like this, stared at me like this for such a long time, for so long.
Well, he didn't know what to do, so he decided to just watch the government and see what the government was doing and kind of scale it down to size and run his life that way.
She said the hardest thing to teach her 3-year-old kid was what was alive and what wasn't. The phone rings, and she holds it out to her kid and says, "It's Grandma, talk to Grandma." But she's holding a piece of plastic, and the kid says, "Hey, wait a minute, is the phone alive? Is the TV alive? What about that radio? What is alive in this room and what isn't?" Unfortunately, she doesn't know how to ask these questions.
We were in a large room full of people, all kinds, and they'd all arrived at the same time. They were all free, and they were all asking themselves the same question. What is behind that curtain? They were all free, and they were all wondering what would happen next.
This is the time, and this is the record of the time. This is the time, and this is the record of the time.
There is no parking in the red zone. Please stand clear of the moving platform. Please stand clear of the moving platform. Mr. Green, white courtesy telephone, please. Mr. Green, white courtesy telephone, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to London, Laurie Anderson.
Hi. This evening, I'll be reading from a book I just finished. And since a lot of it is about the future, I'm going to start more or less on the last page and tell you about my grandmother. Now, she was a Southern Baptist holy roller, and she had a very clear idea about the future and of how the world would end. In fire. In fire. Like in Revelations. Like in Revelations. Now, when I was 10, my grandmother told me the world would end in a year. So I spent the whole year praying and reading the Bible and alienating all my friends and relatives. And finally, the big day came, and absolutely nothing happened. Just another day. Now, my grandmother was a missionary, and she had heard that the largest religion in the world was Buddhism. So she decided to go to Japan to convert Buddhists and to inform them about the end of the world. Now, she didn't speak Japanese, so she tried to convert them with a combination of hand gestures, sign language, and hymns in English. The Japanese had absolutely no idea what she was trying to get at. Now, when she got back to the United States, she was still talking about the end of the world. And I remember the day she died. She was very excited. She was like a small bird perched on the edge of her bed near the window in the hospital, waiting to die. And she was wearing these pink nightgowns and combing her hair so she'd look pretty for the big moment when Christ came to get her. And she wasn't afraid. But then, just at the very last minute, something happened that changed everything. Because suddenly, at the very last minute, she panicked. After a whole life of praying and predicting the end of the world, she panicked. And she panicked because she couldn't decide whether or not to wear a hat. so when she died, she went into the future in a panic, with absolutely no idea of what would be next. Strange perfume, long lost room, that blue day came, it stayed all night, blue morning, blue midnight. The city fell, and then you were gone. What is love but a robin song? Ooh, these days, these endless blue days, they're perfect in their own, perfect in their own way. Ooh, those days perfume, long lost room, perfect in their own way, perfect in their own way. Where does love go when love is gone? To what war-torn city? Ooh, those blue days that stay too long. What is love but a robin song? Ooh, these days, these endless blue days, they're perfect in their own way, perfect in their own way. Where does love go when love is gone? To what war-torn city? Ooh, those blue days that stay too long.
Gosh, the wanderers. Who was the wanderer? They dig it.
The day the devil comes to get ya, you know him by the way he smiles. The day the devil comes to get ya, he's rusty truck with only 20 miles. He's got bad brains, he's got loose teeth, he's a long way from home. The day the devil comes to get ya, he's got a smile like a scar. He knows the way to your house. He's got the key to your car. And when he sells you his sport car, you say, funny, that's my size, attention shop. Everybody, please rise. Give me back my innocence. Give me a brand new suit. Give me back my innocence. Whoa. Put me down to size. You can hide under the porch, and you can hide behind the couch. But the day the devil comes to get you, right on time. Here we come. Well, I'm sick of hearing about your problems. Yeah, girlie, you're breaking my heart. I'm the original party animal. Hey, hey, Babaloo. So don't come bang your Bibles, 'cause you've been laughing on the way to the bank. And don't give me those crocodile tears, 'cause you've been doing it for years. I'm everywhere. So right here, Mr. Jones. The day the devil comes to get ya, he's a long way from home. You know he's gonna get ya, 'cause you're stuck in the middle. Everybody, please rise. Give me back my innocence. Give me a brand new suit. Give me back my innocence. Oh Lord, put me down to size. Give me back my innocence. Give me a new Cadillac. 'Cause when I get on to heaven, Lord, you can have it all back. 'Cause in heaven, you get it all back. In heaven, it all comes back. 'Cause in heaven, you get it all back. In heaven. Let me tell you a story of a Coco Boco, the island where I come from. The beaches are littered with rotten coconuts, and there are pieces of old skulls lying around. Jewels and sand and rising water, visions I have seen and cries I've heard. I can't put these things lots of people who talk just to hear the sound of their own voices. But take an empty shell and put it up to your ear. You can hear the ocean rumbling around in there. Ooh, the greasy wheel, it goes round. The humming of the breeze, it makes a wishing and a blaring sound. A sudden silence when the burning sun goes down. Jewels and satin and rising water, visions I've seen and cries I've heard. I can't put these things into words. Might as well put some beads in a hollow gold and shake it, shake it. It was one of those black cat nights. The moon had gone out and the air was thin. It was the kind of night that the cat would drag in. I'll never forget it. We had a fight. Then you turned around, turned on the light. You left our bed. Then you moved downstairs to live with her instead. Yeah, just one floor and a shout away. I guess I should have moved, but I decided to stay. Did I drink some poison that I don't remember now? And every night I open all the windows, I let a cold dark wind blow through. I play loud organ music, and I talk to myself and dream of you. Uh-oh, I hear voices coming up through the pipes, through all the springs in my bed and up to the light. Volume goes up and drops back down. I can hear the two of you playing records, moving furniture and fooling around. Did I drink some poison? Did I drink some poison that I don't remember now? That I don't remember now. Is the blood on my hands? No, my hands are clean. Did I do something in another lifetime that was really, really mean? Yeah, I'm hearing voices. Am I losing my mind? Think I'm going crazy, gotta get out. Running into the street, start to shout. Get out of my way, get out, get out. Did I drink some poison that I don't remember now? Is the blood on my hands? Did I do something in another lifetime that was really, really mean? A small bullet, a piece of glass, and your heart just grows around it.
our sleep.
In our sleep, as we speak, listen to the drums beat. As we speak, as we speak, in our sleep, listen to the drums beat. In our sleep, in our sleep, as we speak, listen to